Trump rolled in, Middle East deal maker. Netanyahu shook hands, no dictator. Biden trying to snatch, but he's no thrill creator. Make peace pop, more gold than an alligator. Gaza streets lit, fireworks in the haze. Palestinians shout freedom, no longer a maze. Trump's the maestro, Biden lost in the craze. Whole world tuned in, amazed by the blaze. Trump saved Gaza, Biden tripping in the haze. Both hands dirty up in the political phase. Freedom rang out, gave people better days. Trump's deed done, Biden just mimics and plays. Biden's press conference taking all the credit. Trump's out golfing, doesn't even sweat it. Netanyahu nods, Gaza storm abetted. Peace reigns, and Biden dreamt he'd get it. Trump's the MVP, broker of the truce. Biden's speech is dull, needing some juice. Gaza celebrates, conflicts reduced. Biden tweets lies, untruths he produced. Trump saved Gaza, Biden tripping in the haze. Both hands dirty up in the political phase. Freedom rang out, gave people better days. Trump's deed done, Biden just mimics and plays. Trump's an MVP, broker of the truce. Biden's speech is dull, needing some juice. Gaza celebrates, conflicts reduced. Biden tweets lies, untruths he produced. Trump saved Gaza, Biden tripping in the haze. Hands dirty up in a political phase. Freedom rang out, gave people better days. Trump's deed done, Biden just mimics and plays.
This is a Dissident Media production. DissidentMedia.net.
All I ask is, if we have to give these bastards our lives, we give them hell before we do!
The tragedy of our day is the climate of fear in which we live.
Talking about the Salomon Brothers building collapsing.
I would ask the congressman to withdraw that comment and tell us that he didn't really mean that. I don't know what I said. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
The Bible commands that certain people be put to death.
Thieves or possesses weapons of mass destruction.
9/11 attacks were carried out by Al-Qaeda.
Handle the truth.
I remember that with that smoke! We are still here!
We have to say yes to social justice.
No. It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
All right, ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, welcome back to The System is Down. On a beautiful Thursday evening tonight, we are going to be talking about all sorts of things, and I don't remember what any of them are. Oh, ceasefire. There's a ceasefire, allegedly. There's wildfires still happening. Joe Biden is, disagreeing with everybody in his own administration. Donald Trump's, being Donald Trump and winning Donald Trumpy type awards. We're going to get into all that and so much more. But before we do, nope. Thank you, but that wasn't the right button. Neither was that. Holy shit. I need to clean some stuff up around here. Before we get into anything, I gotta remind you guys about you in the Downers Club. People like Keenover, Gilda Kate, John Winshower, Bob Seifert, Drugs for Robots, Autumn Jacobs, Pangea, Carolina, Scott something, Kim Yippie, Denise, Perry, Donald, Matthew, Leah, Danielle, Stoney, SDG, Level 0, Vanza, Media, Jack, Javari, Craig, Howie, Brian, Justin, William, and many more. Get your name on that list and have it read incorrectly at patreon.com/The System is Down. Support the show. Get all the backlog bonus content and all the future content of the bonus variety that we are going to do any day now. We're going to get back into the swing of that. I promise you. It's going to happen this year. This is our year, baby. We got a lot of things in store. So if you want the show to continue growing and getting bigger and better, more beautiful, well, it's going to happen, whether you like it or not. But if you want it to happen faster, patreon.com/the system is down. And I am joined, of course, by the great, the one, the only Mr. David Casey. David, how are you?
What is happening, dude? I'm doing great, man. How are you?
I'm good. I am good. You seemed a little glitchy, but I think you're good. How's the great state of Delaware? Is anything happening out there in your neck of the woods, Dave?
We are preparing to welcome our golden boy home.
Oh yeah,
just the working man's hero to public servant of the century.
Yeah,
we're gonna bring him home
from Pennsylvania. Where's he from again?
I mean, he has spent his whole life here. I think he was born in Scranton, PA, though. Mm-hmm. A little ways away.
Sure.
But just definitely working class. That's the big takeaway. That's what his legacy is.
Absolutely. I mean, nothing but public service for his entire life and dedicated. We'll save the eulogy for the end. We'll come back to that. But there's a lot to get to. And, well, actually, I take that back, too. There's not a lot to get to, Dave. There hasn't been that much going on in the last week.
Slow one? Good.
Yeah.
Good, because I feel like I haven't caught up on the news lately. I get 15 minutes in the morning to check Twitter out, and then, who knows what's going to happen.
As far as I can tell, you haven't missed much. We'll get into the ceasefire. Obviously, that's the big news. We'll get into that in a bit. There is a few things that I want to share right off the bat. This is apropos of nothing. I just want to highlight somebody who is a friend of the show, has been on the show multiple times, and has a new song coming out tomorrow, Mr. Tom McDonald, and I don't always share his stuff, but when I do, it's because it's this.
Hey guys, so everybody wants to know who's rapping with me in the new music video on Friday. Everybody's guessing who it is. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to call them while I got you.
Hey Tom, what's up?
Oh,
so
man.
Tomorrow.
That's so great that's tomorrow.
Tomorrow, Tom McDonald, who famously rapped with Ben Shapiro, he's now doing a rap with Roseanne. What do you think, Dave?
That's so much better. So much better.
Sure.
It might make up for him rapping with.
I mean, they're both Jewish. If that's what you mean, Dave.
Yeah, but she's one of the good ones. And Ben Shapiro is definitely not. So yeah, Tom McDonald can make up for it by putting her on a track, a feature. Yeah. Let Roseanne drop 16 bars of fire.
I am quite intrigued. I mean, it is entirely a gimmick, but so was Ben Shapiro. But this is a gimmick that I'm just here for. And Tom having he gets serious, but he's got a comedic past also, quite comedic at times. I'm looking forward to that one, and we'll see. But yeah. Dave, have you heard the bad news about your favorite influencer platform of TikTok?
I am actually on TikTok. I heard they've been after TikTok almost as long as Syria. So yeah, they're bound to get it one of these days.
So allegedly it's happening within the next few weeks is what we're told, or as soon as Trump gets in there, he's going to ban TikTok, or there's new, I don't know. I don't know if anything's actually going to happen with TikTok. I kind of suspect that it's not, but even more funny than whether or not TikTok gets banned. First off, Dave, what's your opinion on the whole TikTok thing? Some say it's a Chinese asset and they're spying on us and we need to be careful with that and get it out of here. Others say that that's just fear-mongering and paranoia and saber-rattling against China. What do you think?
I mean, I'm not saying that they're not spying. I mean, but that's what all the apps do. All the apps spy on you, and it might be creative.
No, China's spying on us instead of our government.
Yeah, I mean, like even the shittiest of apps that do nothing for you, like the stupid games that your grandmom downloads. Like, well, get a lot of your deets. So TikTok, which provides a lot, you could say, at least to the millions of people that use it. I'm not saying I don't know exactly what they're doing with the information, but I imagine
Dave,
it has something to do
you're
with...
more familiar with TikTok than I am. Can you tell me one thing that TikTok provides that Instagram does not?
Yeah, like if you're like way better editing features. I don't even post to it much, but I use it a lot for like editing stuff. It makes great, quick little shorts and videos, and it's pretty user friendly. But I will say this: I went to go. I made a rooftop Koreans thing the other day when the LA fires were popping off. Right, just a '90s throwback to that, and it would not let me post a picture of a Korean guy with a rifle. So I don't know how much you're going to get away with on TikTok, but
yeah, I was going to say by the end of this, you're going to, convince me to actually start a TikTok, and then TikTok's going to get banned the day after I start one. That, or even if it wasn't banned, I would undoubtedly get banned off TikTok pretty quickly. I would imagine. I don't know. Ian Carroll made his jump start off of TikTok, so
yeah.
What are the parameters? Are they as strict as some people say? And here I am, the boomer, who's like, tell me about these TikToks, kid.
Well, I haven't gotten any. Facebook, to me, has been worse, way worse. And, that's Instagram, too, though I'm going by like 2022 standards. But, yeah, I've had more than one community guidelines violation from TikTok. Just for, I think both of them were for guns. So they must be, I think they have different priorities of what they tolerate. Over at TikTok. Language, you probably have to be careful with some of that too. But it's probably like using Facebook, but just it's more fun. I get why people use it more, and the addictability to just the like kind of click and go.
Their algorithm is strong. I know that. I was on TikTok like once, and it was like if you just start an account, I don't even know if I still have the account, but I started it. And then I just scrolled like once, and whatever was there, if you lingered on it for a second, that was all you got for the next 10 minutes. It was the same thing. Like if you're starting it with a fresh algorithm, the algorithm like catches immediately. That's about the extent of my knowledge. But the TikTok potential falling into the abyss or being banned by the U.S. government.
Listen, man. You need to get on TikTok. I think I did tell you that like 2 years ago, and I'm still right. You should get on there right now, and you should upload some videos, do some hashtags. They still use hashtags, unlike Elon Musk. So get up on there, start hashtagging the system down, drop some of your classics on there. That's what I would do if I were you. Or at least portions of them. Trickle them out for a brand new audience, dude.
I know that I should, in order to make a brand in the current cultural climate and market, Dave. I know that. I don't want to. And as soon as I do, it's going to get shut down. But that's neither here nor there. The point that I wanted to make is there's been rumors that Elon Musk has hinted around about purchasing TikTok, and the white women are upset about it. Here's that.
All delete our accounts. Dear Elon Musk, if you purchase this app, we will burn it to the motherfucking ground. We will all delete our accounts immediately. Immediately. We do not want you owning this shit. This is ours. This is our app. So if I can stay out of it.
Like, I mean, the whole debate is over whether or not China should be allowed to directly spy on our citizens, if that is or isn't happening or whatever. And white women are like, Elon, don't you dare save this platform so that we can use it at all. This is our platform, and you can't do that. This is ours. Like, bitch, none of this is yours. Nothing is yours. You signed up. You signed everything away when you signed up for the platform. Nothing on the platform is yours. The platform is certainly not yours. Your information is not yours. It is whoever the highest bidder is. That's who owns that.
Man, I'm still shocked at the amount of adult white women and men too, but they just will complain. You'll just get up on and complain about stuff that like isn't important.
Mm-hmm.
I just
ironic, Dave.
That's fun. No, listen. You better have something.
That's what our show is, Dave. Don't shut it down.
I know. Shit, we need to get on TikTok and start complaining with these bitches.
That's right. Need to whiten up. Now, some white women have found an alternative solution. Have you heard of Red Note, Dave?
I heard it. I heard that this is the new thing. This is where
we're apparently the most downloaded app yesterday in the App Store. The most downloaded app is like the only Chinese social media platform that is allowed, and everybody who's like scared that TikTok isn't going to be allowed is now switching to Red Note. And here to give us the best sales pitch is this Chinese guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, TikTok refugees, welcome. You finally made it to Red Note, a place you can start over. But here's the exciting part. I've got one solution for you. I always do. You don't have to leave your TikTok life behind. With my method, you're gonna be able to move your entire account, your content, your information, your everything, all the way from TikTok straight to Red Note. Let me walk you through it.
And then he does. He walks you through it. If you want to go find that, you decide. If you are at all concerned about Chinese spying for a company that may or may not be, Chinese owned like TikTok, so I just find it hilarious that the white women, their solution to that, because they cannot be oppressed, is to go straight into Red Book, the Chinese propagandist piece of okay, I have another video here to further prove my point. This is a white woman who discovered Red Book and or Red Note or whatever the fuck it is. She makes some good points, but I have my concerns. Here's white woman number 2.
The government has been lying to us about China for decades. Now that we've all gotten on Red Note and we can see the lifestyle that all of the Chinese people have, a lot of us Americans are fucking pissed. The price of going out to eat, the price of groceries, public transportation. And the people on Red Note are so fucking flabbergasted that we have to work 2 jobs just to keep our roof over our head. US government, you fucked up big time, which is not a surprise because you do it constantly. Even if TikTok gets banned, I've seen enough. I have been woken up. I grew up fed propaganda that China is evil and that they treat their citizens like shit. I mean, I was raised by MAGA. It's the main reason why I feel so radicalized. American culture, American society is toxic, gross, poisonous. They poison our food. They jack the prices up of everything. We don't get health care. We don't get good public transportation, even though we're all on the same fucking continent. We destroy the planet for money, power, and control. Our government is funky as fuck on the left and on the right. Don't get it twisted. This is a class war, and I will not be giving this fight up.
So there's that white bitch makes some good points. And some also really stupid ones.
I hate that she made a couple good points.
She makes a couple. She did it like she sprinkles in a couple good points where you're like, oh, and then you're like, oh. Like, if there is evidence through Red Note that our government has been lying to us about China, and China's just this paradise where nobody has to work and everybody is just flourishing under communism, I would like to know that too. I would like to see, and I'm curious to for all the evidence of the flourishing Chinese people. But her response to that is, America is awful and America is toxic. And it's like, bitch, you're the problem. You're the reason that it's toxic. You TikTok white women are generally the problem, the ones voting in all the bullshit. But so she's got now she has this renewed sense of victimhood, as if TikTok didn't give her enough of that. Now she's got this new, like, white women are oppressed in this country and I need to go to China where they have it way better. Like, you went too far. I feel like you went too far. I don't know. What are your thoughts, Dave?
Well, you're absolutely right about her being a fucking ingrate. Like, that's the part
I didn't
about
say
her.
it. I would say it, but I did not say those words
I
exactly.
mean, you kind of touched on it, but I'll elaborate then. Yeah, like, she totally doesn't know how good she has it because of what this country was, at least at one point. I mean, people built shit over hundreds of years for you to enjoy now. Like, the literally peak of civilization shit. You know, you can live on whatever you're living on 20 hours a week at your barista job or whatever you majored in college that isn't important at all, that somebody's probably paying you a ridiculous salary for it, some nonprofit out of DC or whatever. But yeah, she did hit a couple good, not good. She hit a couple points in there that, I understand your grievance, but then yeah, immediately the jump to, well, I've lived here my entire life experience is that this is totally awful. And so I just saw this app though. I just saw this app today. So China looks pretty sweet because I just saw this app today. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
You know so much about.
Got it all figured out now. And what's funny
Well-
about this is like, we know what our social media does to people. They all live the fakest, most glossy, picture-perfect lives, and white women especially are notorious for showing only the best and, being depressed when it's not actually their reality. Is it possible, maybe, that the Chinese citizens under communism aren't quite as happy as they post on the Chinese propaganda government-sponsored app? The only thing that they're allowed to say is good things. Maybe is it possible that they're not going online and bitching as much as you because they're not allowed to? I don't know. I guess it's up to me to do the investigative journalism and download Red Note, which I should have done by now, and then we'd be able to talk about that, but I didn't. So here we are.
Yeah, I take back what I said about downloading TikTok. Skip that and go right to Red Note, bro.
Yep. Agreed. And I might. Now, there's another white woman, for what it's worth, whose link is not...
They're really getting the brunt of the shit tonight, the white women.
Well, they're the ones that, surprisingly enough, have the largest and loudest opinions on the TikTok ban. Who could have guessed that? I can't find her. Anyway, I'm just going to tell you what she said. She was talking about Red Note. Basically, the Chinese phrase translates into English closer to, what is it? Like Little Red Book or something like that. It has to do with Mao's hit list, or like not hit list, but like the strict rules of, I don't know, how you're supposed to exist. Like not a great sign if you're calling the Chinese propaganda social media platform Little Red Book and convincing all the white women to go join it. Do you think that this is this going to make life better or worse than TikTok was already making white women? Dave?
Man, I can't imagine that this is going to be, what was that? There was like that whole social media site that popped up when everybody was getting banned off Twitter. It lasted like 6 months.
Blue Sky or something?
No, that's one. I think that you're right, though. That's another one of those fly-by-night things. I just don't think that these things just pop up like that. So I don't know how long Red Note, like this is popular in China. Is that the thing?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
could be wrong, but I feel like it's one of few, if not the only thing that they have.
Okay. This is, again, I'm not saying this is Trump's fault. It's just like it's part of the Trump phenomena that like he repels these people to a point where they go and like, that's just so bizarre that you would be so insane to go, I'm going to hop up on this Chinese site and everything is sweet over here in China. Like that's fucking crazy. Something you must have a...
Well, it's only crazy if you thought that there was any concern of all of social media taking all of your information in the past, as we are and have been. But they're like, I don't care. I've got nothing to hide. I spread my legs on the internet for money. So, yeah, take it.
But if Elon Musk purchases TikTok, which, again, this is weird, and I don't know how much of this is just conjecture or whatever, but he has objectively made Twitter a freer space. Like, you'll be fine. You'll still have your account. This isn't fascism or something like that. Yeah. Not the fascist, fascist like the Chinese government. Nothing like that.
Yeah.
You wouldn't rather have it in the hands of any private actor other than the Chinese government?
They're having a great time over there, Dave. Just like the Gazan paradise that we were told about. And also that first TikTok woman that said, "You cannot take this. This is our space. This is ours." It reminded me so much of when Elon bought Twitter. Like, just all the celebrities being like, "If you buy this, we're out of here." And then 6 months later, they're like, "If you keep owning this, eventually if Donald Trump, if we're going to leave the country," like, I don't know. It's always just bluster and everybody sticks around and, bitches.
Alyssa Milano split and she deactivated her account.
Dang it.
Respect to her.
Dang it. Damn you. Everybody's so disappointed not to have Alyssa Milano on Twitter anymore. Now we have her replaced by, I don't know if I think this is probably a parody account of some sort. I don't really care if it is because it's fucking funny. From Wee Woo, At woo wee 113 on Twitter says, all white people stop use Red Note. You bring pervert and slut behavior to Red Note. No good. I want it to be real. I don't care if it is a parody, but I want it to be real. And if it were, I would get it.
That's great.
We can move on. There's been not much new on the wildfire front, but there's been a bit of a debate that I've seen online that I just wanted to bring up for the sake of getting your thoughts, Dave. And it should be a question at the very least, but some people have pointed out that California, which spontaneously combusts more often than any other state seems to, is right on the ocean. And am I dumb for thinking that it's... So I got in an argument with a guy on Twitter the other day. I posted this, and he was like, well, you just don't get it. That's stupid. That's a stupid argument. That's bad for the environment. It's bad for cars, or it's bad for whatever. It's like, as opposed to what, sir? As opposed to fire? Because I'm not saying that I have a solution to this problem, but if I were personally somebody living in California, which is prone to spontaneously combust at random in the middle of winter, and I also lived right on the edge of the ocean, I would at least have something to say about, the powers that be, my local authorities. Like, surely there's somebody who can figure out a way to filter this water, to make this water usable. I don't know what all the complications are. How have we not found a way to just push a little bit of that water over to put out that fire, Dave? Am I stupid? Am I stupid here? I could be stupid.
Yeah, you need to stop doing your own research. That's what I would say.
It's not even research. I'm just asking questions, Dave. And the question is, fire bad, water here, water kind of bad too. Can we use bad water to put out bad fire, or is that worse?
Right. Like, even if it's just something that you do for like really bad fires, you know what I mean?
Yes.
In the worst case scenario, we have this.
Because if I were on fire, I would love all the salt water to be dumped on me that you have, personally. That's just me.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say so. But I don't know any fire departments that just have machines that... Why not, though? I don't know. Why isn't there something that can just pump fucking ocean water out? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean...
It would have helped them out if they could do that.
You would think so. I feel like in the libertarian utopia, Dave, somebody would have fucking figured it out by now.
Well, listen, probably can't get the permits. That's probably the problem. Ask, like Gavin Newsom would just pass it off, all the blame to the, oh yeah, they haven't figured it out. The mayor's office haven't figured it out. City council, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So yeah, they got big problems, man. But, we haven't even hit the fact that it's probably the fucking space lasers that are setting those fires ablaze.
Go ahead, Dave.
I'm just saying.
We have not gotten into that yet, Dave. Go ahead and
I've just heard that that's something that that they do from time to time is clear the brush, and I feel like these.
Who's they, Dave?
Capital T. They.
Who's the they with the space lasers, Dave? What are you saying?
I'm saying they be using those motherfuckers, and I think they got plans. Look, okay, you remember when President Xi came and he cleaned up the place real nice for like a week?
Yeah.
Right. So what they need to do right now is turn and burn. It's like, you got to clear out the old crops. You got to burn that shit so that next year that shit grows back better. So I think they're probably
space lasers, Dave. Get back to the space lasers.
Yeah, there's space laser burning everything because you got to get rid of the Diddy evidence. You got to get rid of the underground, sex dungeons and stuff like that.
Forgot about that. The Diddy
so
evidence is all burned up.
They're literally fucking burning the evidence up, bro. And they're going to make a lot of money, BlackRock is.
Yeah. Perhaps. I don't know. But that's all I had on the wildfires, and I have no other thoughts on it. Godspeed, California.
Let me just ask you this. Do you think this will hurt Gavin Newsom in 2028, or do you think it won't even matter because people are so fucking stupid?
I want to think that it would hurt him, but the dude got what? Like they had a re-vote. They won it. Like they had enough support that they wanted to actually remove him from office rather than even voting him out, and they still lost that. I have a hard time believing that anybody... What?
They screwed that because they loaded it up with a bunch of people so that, like, you know, if it was just him and like maybe one or two other people, he probably would have lost. But it was him and like 9 other people. Yeah. So like he had the name recognition.
Oh, they went the libertarian route, huh?
Yes. They had 37 debates. And they made sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it'll hurt it. I want to think it will hurt him, but at this point, I don't have any idea what it would take for Californians to say Gavin Newsom is not a fearless leader that should be president. Like, it's not even just like his support is not even just to the extent that they're like, oh, it's not his fault for the fires. It's to the point that they're like, for all of the fires, for all of the homeless crisis, for all of the immigration and everything, the COVID shit, the going to the French restaurant or whatever while he was telling everybody to stay in their homes, all that stuff. It didn't matter. So I don't foresee it mattering, and California will keep getting what they vote for, I suppose.
I think he could run for president, and all of those white women from TikTok who love China will all vote for him.
All the red note bitches.
Because that's what he's doing anyway, is turning that place into essentially, you know, mini China.
Sure.
So I think he'll I don't know if he'll win in 2028 or if he'll run, but I think that's probably the guy that they're going to have to contend with. Perfect scumbag.
I don't see too many others in the running currently, but we've got 4 years plus, you know, couple of days, and we'll see. Now, the biggest news for this week is that ceasefire, Dave, ceasefire between Israel and Hamas allegedly is happening. Not even allegedly. It's been announced and discussed, I suppose. And lots of people are taking credit for it. I, for one, think that Joe Biden fearlessly finally sealed this deal just like he did with Afghanistan and pressured Israel into, you know, into pulling back and allowing Hamas to turn over the hostages. Now, what do you think, Dave? It's Biden, right? It's totally Biden.
Bro, I don't think that Biden has made a decision for himself, or let alone the country.
Years.
It's been a long time.
Probably since before his presidency.
Yeah. But this is funny, and it is weird how like PR people work. Like that's I imagine that this is, you know, Trump maneuvers, right? But all they have to do is like go, no, that was us.
Right. We're still here. We're still here. We did it.
Exactly. We can just claim it and people will believe it because they got their teams.
Yeah.
And but it's interesting, man. I was just thinking about that earlier today, like the moves that happen like in between administrations and such. Like Carter was in office, Reagan was coming in, and they made deals with the Iranians to not release those hostages until Reagan came in. Like he was like imagine if that story came out today. Like no, don't release those hostages until I get in, so that when I get in, we celebrate me. Right. It's just like, that's incredible. I think Saddam Hussein tried to like send a big check to like George W. Bush's campaign in 98, 99. And they were like, don't you fucking dare. Cause like, obviously they had plans and didn't want to be tied to Saddam Hussein.
Now, it wouldn't surprise me if Donald Trump had made a deal like that. If he had, I mean, we've heard rumors of him saying things like that in the past of like, hold off on this until I get in so that it looks better. And I mean, that's politics. It is what it is. It's wrong of anybody to be like, let's continue the suffering until I get in because it makes my political win look like a bigger one. I don't think that it would have been a bigger win for Donald Trump to wait until he got into office or to hold off pushing for this stuff as it is for him to be able to be like, yeah, I did it. While your guy was still in there and I haven't even started the job yet, I'm already getting more shit done than he's gotten done in the last 4 years. Of course, there's back and forth on the internet. All the people who are blaming Donald Trump for all the stuff of the wildfires and stuff of last week, that obviously a non-president can't really do anything about, but a non-president can have conversations, and especially an incoming president it's a lot easier for him to make concessions and, have discussions with Israel and Hamas, leadership than it is for him to have discussions with a wildfire that is raging out of control. So, I don't know. Are we hypocritical for giving Donald Trump credit for this current thing when we weren't willing to blame him for the wildfires of yesterweek, Dave?
I mean, dude. No, in fact, I think that he was, when he was president, I could be wrong about this, but, search it. I'm pretty sure he was out there going, yeah, they're not cleaning up the brush. Like, this is what happens when you don't maintain this shit. And, you got to spend money on services and things like that. Like, that is really what it boils down to. Bro, I heard the chief lesbian fire lady in LA, like, she makes $750,000 a year. Well, you absolutely are accountable for all of that. So is the mayor. So is Gavin Newsom. But again,
whoever's job it is to not have the fires happen, that's who's responsible. And every single one of them is responsible because that's your only job, and you get paid good money to do it. So you are 100% responsible.
Listen, I've said this before in the show. This is kind of like big umbrella conspiracy, but they've done this in, some shows and stuff. So maybe it's predictive programming. I feel like they sprinkle in these in places that are already in deep shit, where they need to kind of torch the place, so to speak, right? It's already in trouble. It's already bankrupt. It's already awful and blah, 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 for all these reasons. They'll put like somebody in charge. They'll make somebody like a complete, DEI hire in charge, maybe like somebody who's not even like particularly impressive.
Yeah.
And so that they can tank it while they're there. Like, look at this ridiculous person who makes all this money, who's completely incompetent. That's why it failed. And now we need to reboot everything with yada, yada, yada. Make it 2.0.
I heard that, I don't even know if this is true. I couldn't find much on it, but what's her name? Patrisse Cullors, the BLM founder or whatever, that allegedly 2 of her 3 mansions that were purchased with BLM donations burned down in the forest fires or in the wildfires. So hats off to Patrisse Cullors. Unfortunately, she only has the 1 mansion left to reside in her oppression, donated to her by well-meaning, whatever. Anyway, I don't even know if that's true, but thought it was worth a mention. We do have more on this whole ceasefire situation, but before we get too much deeper, let's go ahead and if your house burned up, I don't think that Lone Star is going to cover it, but they might. You can give them a call and find out. Try it.
Have you or a loved one been injured by some fucknuggets, reckless driving, a tumble at your shitty job, or some other form of dumb shit outside of your control? Well, fear not, because today's episode is sponsored by a lawyer. Lone Star Injury Attorneys is an award-winning personal injury law firm that achieves maximum results for its injured clients. Max the Axe is not just a lawyer, but a hardcore Mises Caucus libertarian and also a big supporter of this show and all of our bullshit. Max is the best personal injury lawyer in Texas, but don't judge him by his occupation or location. Max is an avid defender of liberty and justice in whatever state you got fucked in. If you've been injured and your ass needs saving, go with the pros at Lone Star Injury Attorneys. Visit LoneStarInjuryAttorneys.com or Google Max the Axe. Consultations are free and you don't pay a single dime unless you win. Once again, go to LoneStarInjuryAttorneys.com and get your ass covered.
Hey there, do you like shirts? Of course you do. Well, get a load of these shirts from DissidentShop.com. Your one-stop shop for all the latest designs that will make your friends go, oh, wow. That guy is so based, I want to be his friend during the apocalypse. Go to DissidentShop.com and wear the dissidents you want to see in the world.
And we are back. New ad there. What'd you think, Dave?
Bro, go get some of them t-shirts, DissidentShop.com.
Survive the apocalypse in style, yo. DissidentShop.com. Fake super chat from Derek Ambrose. Fake super chat. China doesn't need TikTok to spy on us. They can just use the back doors that the U.S. government required to be built into the telecom system so that they could spy on us. yes, that is not only true, but I don't even think they need that. Like, these bitches so freely give all their information to anybody who asks for it, or doesn't ask for it, or just says you have to click a box that says that they can take all your information. Nobody's stealing any information. It's being freely given away, and even if there weren't the back doors, China could easily be spying on us. I'm honestly not really sure how big of a deal that China has. I don't know if they had TikTok or if these people go on Red Note or whatever. What difference does it really make? Because all the information was there, except for maybe like their phone number, which is the only thing that they have hidden, on their profile. Is there really some sort of concern that China is going to? For me, it's less about the information, the data that is being retrieved from China, and more in if China has the ability to maneuver and manipulate TikTok or any of these platforms, then there is a communist government that is... There is brainwashing in TikTok. TikTok is a brainwash app. It is specifically designed to brainwash and keep you there and give you exactly what your heart desires, and then whatever it desires your heart to desire. And it doesn't really matter if they have your social security number because they have your brain. And I don't even care if it's the Chinese government. I don't care who's in charge, really. They're not, I don't know. They're not great. I'm sorry, Dave, to poo-poo your platform, and I'll probably start one at some point and become a hypocrite like Vivek Ramaswamy. But yeah, as far as like it influencing people, I have more concern about that than people's information, whatever that's worth, being given to China. Thoughts? Like the influence of culture that it's making.
Sure. I mean, that is definitely more concerning, at least for us. If you are, their government, then it's definitely against your interests, because you want to be able to spy on everybody, and we don't want to spy on anybody. But it is bad, yeah, probably for the kids. Probably people spend too much time on that shit. But as somebody who has probably like 4 or 5 social media apps right now on his phone, I spend the least amount of time on that one. It's probably has something to do with my age group, but
sure.
Historically, a lot more time on Twitter, other things. But I could definitely see people just spending hours on that, clicking next.
Yeah.
So yeah, fuck that. Don't spend too much time on it. Get on there if you make videos, and you make videos, so that's why you should.
I do make videos, and I should do it for brand networking, marketing, and research. Yep. Now, back to the ceasefire. A week ago, Joe Biden's ceasefire was discussed by Trump. Here's what happened.
If those hostages aren't back, I don't want to hurt your negotiation. If they're not back by the time I get into office, all hell will break out in the Middle East. And it will not be good for Hamas.
Can you elaborate?
And it will not be good, frankly, for anyone. All hell will break out. I don't have to say anymore, but that's what it is.
The art of the deal there, folks. No, he's not going to elaborate. He's not going to say what he's going to do. He probably wasn't going to do anything, but he is enough of a bully that when he says, "Hey, stop fighting, kids," the kids are like, "Dad's yelling." And I mean, maybe that's giving him too much credit, but that seems to be what happened here. Donald Trump came in and went, "Hey, y'all," a week ago. Donald Trump said, "Hey, this better be wrapped up before I get in there, or all hell's gonna break loose." Can you elaborate? No. Okay, we're gonna wrap this up.
Where was he when he said that?
This is. Let me see.
Did he see?
Well, he posted to Truth Social. We have a deal for the hostages in the Middle East. This particular speech, I'm not sure where he was. Why?
So here's my prediction. Early prediction. He gets to call Biden a pussy and inept and incapable, and also gets the excuse to, bring the fury as soon as he gets in office, which is the plan anyway.
Yeah.
So that's probably...
It is a win-win for him. Like, he can say whatever he wants, and if something good comes of it, great. And if not, then it's Biden's fault that he didn't have wrapped up. So... Is it hypocritical? I already asked this, but is it hypocritical then to give Donald Trump too much credit if it happened under Biden's watch? Because Donald Trump could, he's playing both sides, or he's playing two hands potentially, and he wins no matter what happens here.
Didn't Netanyahu say all peace talks can cease? He's like, oh, there's a break because of whatever, Hamas or something like that. Like he blamed the other side, obviously, or the debate that they were going to have like within their government or something like that. But that's all they really need to do is just kick that 4 or 5 days down the road.
Sure.
And because I bet you, Netanyahu, he's allied with Trump, so he'll probably do him a solid and make him look good.
And I should have this pulled up, but if you recall, when Kamala Harris was still running for president, I say running in quotations, while Kamala Harris was still running for president, one of the very few interviews that she did, I don't remember who it was, like CBS or somebody, asked if Netanyahu was taking their demand seriously, because Joe Biden said like 6 months ago that this needs to be wrapped up. And I don't mean in months, I mean weeks. And then Kamala Harris was asked, is Netanyahu not taking your demands seriously? And of course she said, well, peace is what you make of it, or something like that. And it's like, we watched you guys not only flounder in not getting this ceasefire done and not getting any sort of peace agreement or even anything really resembling a peace agreement done. We watched you do that for the last couple years, and even to the point where Kamala Harris had zero answer as to why it's not happening. And now that it happened, 5 days before Biden is out of the White House and Donald Trump is in, 1 week after Donald Trump said, you better get it fucking done or we're going to have some problems, then suddenly Joe Biden talked them into a ceasefire. Good job, Joe Biden. Good job. And quite frankly, if Joe Biden had everything to do with talking them into a ceasefire, good. Thank you, Joe Biden, sincerely. I just don't buy it at all. But if Joe Biden was like, you know what? I'm almost dead and I'm out of here. I've got one last thing I need to do. Baby, you need to reason with me. Like if he went through some sort of, meandering, I don't know, broken negotiation process and worked it out, great. I don't really care who does it, but it seems certainly like Donald Trump had a lot more to do with it. And, well, here's Joe Biden being asked who actually was responsible for it. Because, well, actually, I should say before that, Joe Biden came out immediately as the ceasefire stuff was hitting the news, and he had to shuffle out and make sure he took the credit for it. Here's that.
Secretary of State. Let's listen.
Good afternoon. It's a very good afternoon, because at long last, I can announce a ceasefire and a hostage deal has been reached.
Okay, so he's taking the credit there, and then here is, as he's finishing up, a journalist asks him a question, and here's his response.
Who's the history books credit for this, Mr. President, you or Trump?
Is that a joke? Oh, thank you.
Question.
Who's the history books credit for this, Mr. President, you or Trump?
So she asked, like, who gets the credit for this, you or Trump? And his response is that a joke? No?
Didn't answer it.
No, it's not a joke. I mean, in his question, is that a joke? It should be a joke, because to anybody who's been paying any attention at all, yeah, it should be a joke question. It's obvious that Biden, who accomplished nothing in this up until now, had nothing to do with this, while Donald Trump was, like, as soon as Donald Trump got the nomination, or got the, whatever, won the election, Hamas was putting out stuff saying that they were, they were open to discussion, and Israel as well. And now here we are. It's definitely Biden, though. It's Biden. But you know who doesn't agree with me that it's Biden? Dave?
Who's that?
Biden's administration.
When it comes to the involvement of President-elect Trump's team, it has been absolutely critical in getting this deal over the line. And it's been critical because, obviously, as I stand here today, this administration's term in office will expire in 5 days. And one of the things that we have always said about this deal is that when you get from stage 1 to stage 2, that the United States, Egypt, and Qatar are the guarantors of this deal. And Egypt and Qatar will push Hamas to stay at the bargaining table and to get from stage 1 to stage 2, and the United States will push Israel to stay at the bargaining table to get from phase 1 and phase 2. So obviously those are promises we cannot make on behalf of the United States for any longer than the next 5 days. And so it's critical that all of the parties to the agreement and the other mediators see that when the United States is in the room making commitments, those are lasting commitments that extend beyond this administration into the next one. I would just say, lastly, I don't know if it's unprecedented to have envoys from an outgoing and an incoming administration sitting at the same table negotiating a ceasefire agreement of this kind. But if it's not unprecedented, it's certainly unusual. And we, of course, thank the Trump team for working with this on this ceasefire agreement. We think it's important that they were at the table.
So even the Democrats who are giving Trump zero credit for the words that he said having any impact, apparently there was some sort of sit down where Trump and Biden were having a conversation, and even Biden's administration has to now thank Trump for all the work that they did in accomplishing this. But it's Biden. It's Biden.
Is that a joke?
You know who else disagrees, Dave? Not just Biden's administration and anybody who's paying attention, but also the Times of Israel said Arab officials, Trump envoy swayed Netanyahu more in one meeting than Biden did all year. From the Times of Israel. So don't take my word for it. Definitely don't take Biden's word for it, but maybe you can take Biden's, employees and Israel. And if this is what it looks like, what it clearly looks like, that Trump made this happen before even getting into office, like, libertarians, what the fuck do you people want? What do you want? Like, he did it before getting in. Sure, he might start COVID 2.0 or something, but holy shit, calm the fuck down. You might not even get Ross freed, but if Ross isn't freed and this entire war stops, before Trump even gets in there, I'm sure that many people will be very mad that Trump gets to have that win. But again, I call it a win no matter who did it. And if Chase Oliver were able to, talk on the internet and cause a ceasefire in Israel and Gaza, I would give him all the props I'm giving Trump right now. So, good job, Trump. Thoughts, Dave?
Chase Oliver would have gotten it done already, bro, if he didn't get 0.04% of the vote.
If only.
Yeah. No, obviously, look, this is all we could have this normal conversation about this if it wasn't Biden, even if it was like Kamala Harris or just a normal human being that wasn't deteriorated to that extent. Nobody would be swayed by. Look,
he stepped down. He was running for president. He was absolutely going to run and become president. And then he stepped down and handed it to a woman. Like, what kind of sway do you think that guy still has with Hamas or Israel at this point?
That's a good point. I mean, or just anybody. Like, he does not deserve your respect. He does not command respect.
Right.
Certainly doesn't deserve it.
He passed it down to a woman who had to answer the question, why doesn't Bibi Netanyahu respect you and the things that you guys have been saying? Yeah, I'm sure it was all him. It was all him, Dave. It was. It doesn't really matter who it was. It matters that it happens or doesn't happen, and I certainly hope it happens. But not everybody hopes it happens even, Dave. Ben Shapiro has his notes on the hostage deal. Ben Shapiro says, notes on the hostage deal. 1. It is a hostage deal, not an end-of-war deal. Phase 1 allows for the release of 33 hostages. It is not clear how many are alive, but some reports suggest 23. Again, the ceasefire is almost certainly temporary. It is not a permanent end of the war. Phase 2 is, in my opinion, highly unlikely ever to materialize given how many hostages Hamas retains. Can't keep this up this is way too long. Of a Ben Shapiro post. Many hostages Hamas retains, and given that Hamas will never disarm or agree to exile. 3. The deal does not force Israel to alter deployment along the Philadelphia corridor border between Gaza and Egypt. So what does all of this mean? First, that some of the hostages will come home alive. This is an unmitigated good. It would have been excellent to get more hostages out, but that option was presumably unavailable given Hamas's radical intransigence. That's a big word for me. I'm sorry. And the waning health of many of the hostages. Second, the war will continue until Hamas has no control over Gaza. Trump's nominees have said as much. So has the Israeli government. The Trump team squared this circle. The Biden team undoubtedly wanted a permanent end to the conflict as a condition of hostage release. Team Trump presumably told Hamas that wasn't going to happen, and that this was the best deal they were likely to get. So, the war's not over until Ben Shapiro's terms are met, and we should rage on and push forward until Hamas has zero control of anything, and I guess Israel overtakes all of Gaza, and Israel wins, I think, is what he's going for here. What do you think, Dave? Conservative Ben Shapiro. Anti-war conservative Ben Shapiro.
How much is left to bomb? How much? It just looks like you destroyed the whole place. I don't know, like how many thousands of years you plunged that area back into, or it's so disgusting. And this is what his whole MO has been for at least a decade or more, 15 years. And part of me is like, well, dude, why don't you have them wrap this up so you can get your Iran war? Because obviously you've wanted that for forever, but you can't have too much going on at the same time. So, focus on bigger things. Maybe leave these people. God, he's such a piece of shit.
Agreed. I don't have much more on the ceasefire. The ceasefire is as of the last 24, 48 hours. So, who knows if it'll actually stick, if anything will come of this. But it's hard to argue that Donald Trump is, from my perspective, it's hard to argue that Donald Trump is nearly, if not 100% responsible for all of it, and has done so before getting into office. So I'm gonna give praise where it's due and cut him some slack for whatever bad decision he makes next, unless it is bad enough. But I call this a big old fat win.
Nobody would do shit for an outgoing president 5 days before, as if some kind of last minute thing he had to do, or some last minute gift that they would give him for some. That's so fucking ridiculous. And on top of that, it's Biden. Of course it's Trump. Of course it's Trump.
Yeah, it is beautiful to see all the celebrity Democrats out there being like, "Oh, good job, Joe Biden." It's like, come on, come the fuck on. Nobody's buying
TikTok. Come on.
Now let's move on to funner news, more nothing news, and trickle down here, because for every president there's the inaugural official photo, the portrait of the president, and this is Donald Trump's latest.
You mean mugging motherfucker. Look at him, dude. Fucking scowling at you. He fucking look at that. I need fucking DMX playing in the background.
Now here's Donald Trump's first, there on the left. That's his first official photo, his official portrait going into the White House. Right. All smiley, big businessman, ran for one office and it happened to be president and won it on the first try. Everything's good. And then there in the middle, you see his mugshot where he's down but not out, but he's close to out. He's down toward the bottom there. And then the new official photo is just the mugshot raised slightly back up, like, motherfucker, I'm still gonna. You remember that? You remember? I honestly believe that there was probably some sort of conversation on what face to make, and of course, what the final picture was that you're gonna put out. And I would find it hard to believe that it wasn't intentional to make it look a lot like the mugshot, just as like a big old fuck you, I'm back, and I'm even more pissed off than I was when you were trying to lock me up. It's a bold move. It's a bold move.
You cannot go with the original smiley face because you've been shot. You're 50 Cent now, so give me 50 Cent. Boom, 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 boom.
Yes.
Trump's killing it, dude. Yeah. I mean, that's all you got to do. What kind of picture should I take for my next one for the next 4 years? I'm thinking
Tilt your head down more.
gangster,
Lighting
pretty
just right. Get the lighting. Shadows. Ooh, there it is. Mm-hmm.
Killing
That's the shot. I mean, without him growing out a beard and shaving his head, I can't think of a better choice for his picture going back in. So I approve. Now, in other news, unrelated to much other than Donald Trump won an award this week, Dave. Did you hear what award Donald Trump won?
No. Best new photo?
No. Breaking. Donald Trump just received the first ever presidential commemorative inaugural Diet Coke from the CEO of Coca-Cola Company. There it is. There's the inaugural Diet Coca-Cola from Coca-Cola. Now, this seems like a nothing burger, but if you asked me like 4 years ago, like if you told me 4 years ago that Coca-Cola would be the ones praising Donald Trump and being like, here's your inaugural Diet Pepsi president, I feel like Coca-Cola was right there in the mix with everybody else on the woke shit, and Donald Trump's is literally Hitler and, all the DEI bullshit. It does signal, I think, a bit of a turning of the tide, at least. And it's kind of like what we talked about with Zuckerberg last week, where it's not even necessarily that I think that Coca-Cola had a change of heart and Coca-Cola is, more conservative now, like Mark Zuckerberg and other fellow conservatives. I think that Coca-Cola, like Mark Zuckerberg, sees the writing on the wall. But if the writing on the wall is that we should all just stop being batshit crazy and chill the fuck out and, praise politicians when they do good and ridicule them when they do bad instead of having some sort of agenda, I don't know. Do you think that this is a good thing, Dave? I think that it could be a good turning of the tides thing, but it's also like, okay, well, y'all are just kissing the king's ass at the same time. So I kind of see it both ways. What do you think?
I don't know. I need more information.
This is what you got, Dave. Trump holding the Coca-Cola bottle.
Immediately my head goes to, yeah, but I thought we were going to take these guys these are like the number one producer of high fructose corn syrup in the whole world. It's the number one subsidized product. The government, listen.
So is this them lobbying him? Like, please don't let RFK Jr. come for us?
More than lobbying. Yeah, right. But, Coca-Cola, if you didn't know that, and all their products are the number one food product purchased with food stamps. So literally you're subsidizing the diabetes of poor people all over the country. Like you're paying for that. And so are we to believe that they're going to come after him? I know that Elon loves Diet Coke, loves it.
Yeah.
And I know that Trump loves his Coke and his McDonald's. And beyond that, he loves great American brands. And there's no better brand than that one. So if he can tie his shit to Coca-Cola, dude. I mean,
you already got McDonald's. McDonald's, Coca-Cola,
Yeah, I mean, they're already in they only serve Coca-Cola, and that's one of I think the largest institutions, Coca-Cola, in the whole country. So that's, of course, that's a little olive branch in a bottle. We know that you like Coke. Here, drink this. You're very special. Here's your very special Coke.
I do feel like it's all theater, and they're just kissing the ring of the king, but also the king, as far as I can tell, is the closest we're getting to ending the war in Israel and Gaza. So kiss away, I suppose. And I mean, these are soulless corporations anyway. They're going to go where the money is, or they should go where the money is, or where they think the money is going to go, which they've been doing. I do, like, this does gray pill me a little bit that, yes, they're not to be trusted. They're not to be, like, assumed that they're on the level and super based now and whatever, anti-woke. They're just kissing the ring. But as long as the ring, and this is very anti-libertarian to say, as long as the ring is doing good things, then kiss away, because I wasn't expecting Coca-Cola to be peak morality no matter who was in the office. But if they want to not endorse like vaccines and lockdowns and shit, then great.
Bro,
now, Nick Fuentes.
If the ring is doing the thing, I was just gonna let you finish there, but that's fucking great. Yeah, if the ring's doing the thing, I won't bother you much.
I mean, dear libertarians, I don't like the ring either, but when the ring does the thing, you know, shut the fuck up and let them do it. And if you have some sort of elaborate ploy to install Chase Oliver or somebody to remove the ring of power, then I am all ears. But so far, I've not been convinced. Now, on the Coca-Cola note, Nick Fuentes had a different take on it, and I've never done a Nick Fuentes before, but I'm going to give it a shot. Conversely, if you are endorsed by Coca-Cola, then perhaps the system has conquered you. No, I don't got it. It's not gay enough. I'll work on it. But it is a good point. If you are endorsed by Coca-Cola, and that's kind of what we're talking about here, does that make it better or make it worse? I think a little bit of both, personally.
It's so on brand. It's so Trumpian. Like it's bigger now. Like you got that. Oh, that's huge. You got that. You got Coke. That's big. They do Super Bowl shit, and that's the biggest brand. Right? I mean, so like that's true, but it also does make you corporate.
It is Bud Light for non-alcoholics.
You're the approved thing. Yeah. You're very mainstream. You're not the counterculture.
It's definitely not what we saw, 6 years ago, or even 3 or 2 years ago, when anybody who supported or endorsed or voted or talked about or wore a hat Donald Trump, people were getting attacked in the streets for wearing hats. And now we have Coca-Cola being like, hey, please, sir, we would like to maintain our poison in your drinks. Whatever. Michelle Obama is skipping Trump's inauguration, and I, for one, can't imagine who or where or what or why anybody would give a shit at all about this news, but Twitter was all, flustered a couple days ago because Michelle Obama announced that she was not going to be attending Trump's inauguration. And, okay. Are you offended by this, Dave? Are you as offended as the right-wingers or as victorious as the left-wingers that a former president who is going, I assume, to the inauguration, that his wife / whatever is staying home?
No, I'm definitely not offended, but I am curious because like all of this stuff, as we talk about a lot, is theater. So you're not participating in the theater anymore? Is that what you're telling me? So I think some of this stuff, like maybe some of these programs or whatever are going to end. I heard Doug Emhoff and Kamala Harris were probably on the outs, which is fucked up if that's true, that like you're going to get a divorce now, but you were just telling people 3 months ago that you should lead the country together.
Right.
Like that's fuck.
They were buying Utz's pretzels in the grocery or the gas station together, and we had to film that and share it with everybody how happy they were.
And bringing the kids out and doing the whole dance and just all the theater. So yeah, I don't know.
Marianne Brandon says, fake super chat. So would you agree with Boromir that the ring is a gift?
Nerd. You're a fucking nerd. Nerd. I'm just kidding.
No, keep it going, Dave. It took me a minute to even understand the reference, and I still don't. So I understand that it's a Lord of the Rings reference. I would prefer that the ring doesn't exist. Cast it into the fires of Mordor or whatever nerd shit. Do that if you have the ability. But if your Frodo is Chase Oliver, then I'm skeptical, and I'm going to hope that the king uses the ring and wields it for good. At the very least, I would love that. I would not complain if things got better. That's all I'm saying. Now, on whether or not things will get better, Trump had another announcement this week, and that is that he is creating a new government agency. Trump says, "For far too long we have rallied on taxing our great people using the Internal Revenue Service, IRS, in parentheses, through soft and pathetically weak trade agreements. The American economy has delivered growth and prosperity to the world while taxing ourselves." My impersonations are so off tonight. I feel genuinely bad for anybody having to listen to them. "It is time for that to change. I am today announcing that I will create the External Revenue Service to collect our tariffs, duties, and all revenue that come from foreign sources. We will begin charging those that make money off of us with trade, and they will start paying, finally, their fair share. January 20th, 2025 will be the birth date of the External Revenue Service. Make America great again." Huh. So we're not... Are we trading? Because he seems to be against...
That's how it's going to go.
He seems to be against the IRS and for the ERS. If it's a trade, we can all agree, right? Like, yes, make your government agency, focus it outward to bring more money in and focus on getting our dues paid and stop stealing from our citizens. If that were the case, that would be good. But I feel like we just got another one. We just got IRS 2.0.
Yeah.
Now we're going to go shaking down the world. As an American, I don't have that big of a complaint about shaking down the rest of the world as much as they're shaking down us, frankly. But I would prefer that nobody got shook down, and everybody else before us would be great.
Yeah, man, I don't think that we're going to get the abolition of the IRS. I know that they're going to come in and maybe we'll get Doge to do some efficient stuff or whatever, but the government likes money and all of the ways to get it. So they'll probably keep printing it and keep taxing us and keep tariffing the stuff that comes in. So probably all the ways will stay.
It's probably a yes and which will be a Donald Trump lose in my mind, but and in reality and application and everything, but I don't know. Is there an upside to, like, even from the libertarian perspective? We've got the IRS. We're now making the ERS. If we're going out saying, hey, Israel or Ukraine or whoever, pay your dues, pay your fair share, getting the money that is owed to our country, legitimately owed to our country because of, I don't know, loans or agreements or whatever, is it a bad thing? Because I feel like even if the IRS still stands and then the ERS stands, if we're getting more income from where it is owed outside of our country, it might make the IRS ease up a little bit on the rest of us. Is that too anti-libertarian, Dave?
Yeah, but is it going to be more for like deals and like money that we contribute to programs and countries, or is it going to be on stuff coming in? Because we want stuff. We want cars, and we don't want them to cost more. We want, we want lumber from Canada and oil and stuff, and we don't want that to cost more. Yeah. So tariffs suck. That's not, I know that I've heard some people say, well, if you do this, and then I think it was kind of counted on the income tax maybe being alleviated.
Yes.
But if you do this, then companies will come back, and that will be the incentive that, maybe, I don't know. I'm not an economist, but right off the bat, just the bare bones 101 shit is that when you charge more money for it, then that falls on the consumer at the very end. So we'll pay more for shit, It's probably inevitable.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. Maybe it'll help. Maybe it'll hurt. I don't know. We got a fake super chat from Terror Gang NPC. Said N. All right, that's enough from anybody remotely related to Terror Gang. Moving on to other libertarians. This is, well, before the libertarian stuff. Breaking, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, Georgia, has introduced legislation calling for the federal government to drop all charges against Edward Snowden. Okay.
Based.
Seems pretty based, right? Right, Dave?
Yep.
Okay. Well, we haven't checked in with any actual libertarians in a bit, so let's do that. Chase Oliver shared this and said, broken clocks are right twice a day. So even when Marjorie Taylor Greene says something that you 100% agree with, you have to use it as a punchline or an attack of some sort. You got to be a fucking bitch still. You can, like, I agree with Marjorie Taylor Greene, but she's been wrong before, so I have to make sure everybody knows she was wrong before, and I do not associate with her. She is bad. Like, and this is the guy that you guys thought was going to had influence over the release of Ross Ulbricht, the guy who will attack people that he disagrees with on other things, even if they are agreeing with him on something.
Dude, I just saw him post the other day. It was like under something popped up on my feed, and he was asked, "Oh, do you think that Trump will honor his commitment to free Ross?" And he was like, "I don't know, but he could have done it when he was in office before, and he didn't. So even if he does, I won't say thank you." And I wish, like then he of course sandwiches that in with, and I will be so happy for Lynn and Ross and the people who rallied for him and lobbied for him to be pardoned. It's like, motherfucker, you just ran for president and didn't do any of that. You didn't do any. You could have used your enormous platform to like co-captain this with the National Party, but you opted not to. You fucking loser.
Yeah, it's just so libertarian. So libertarian to be like, well, you're saying something that I like, but because you're still you, I can't just say nice. Like I have, he didn't have to share this at all. He didn't have to say anything about it. He could have just commented on it and said, "Thank you for doing that." But instead, it's, "You're dumb. You suck." Like if Chase Oliver posted something that was like, "Yeah, I want to end the wars overseas," which he has. "I'm anti-war to the core," and I was like, and I quote tweeted that and was like, "Well, you're stupid, but I like that you said that." Like. You're the influencer. You're the guy that's going to lead us on to victory. All right. I'm going to let Chase go, just like the entire party should, and move on to other things. We do have to end with Joe Biden. Joe Biden. I don't think we're going to get a chance to talk about Joe Biden again before he's gone. What day is that? Is that Tuesday, Dave?
I think so. The 20th, whatever day that is.
So good chance this is our last chance to talk about President Joseph Robinette Biden before he is no longer president ever again. And so I assume this is the last or one of the last of these.
And Corn Pop was a bigger big shot. Nazi fags. You ain't black.
You're a stupid son of a bitch.
Dave, on this Remembering Biden, I just want to take a bit of time to reminisce about all the highs. I would say lows, but it was mostly highs. It was all highs under Joseph Robinette Biden as our president. We made it through, and he made it through. And I am fucking shocked that, like, if you go back 4 years, I was saying there's no way this guy is making it 4 years.
He did it.
And really, he kind of did and kind of didn't, because he committed to running again and then stepped down and kind of just faded into obscurity. But, Dave, what have been, I don't know, just go back 4 years. How did you feel going into Biden's administration? Donald Trump lost, and you and I had worse feelings about Donald Trump at the time because it's coming off of COVID and all that shit. Donald Trump lost to Joe Biden. Where were you? How'd you feel? And is this anywhere near what you thought this was going to be?
It's funny, dude. I remember I was getting ready to start my podcast and Trump was winding down. And I was like, I might as well just wait till after inauguration so I can just like start fresh along with this. And like my take then was, I don't know, man, like maybe at least like things will calm down because the people that are so crazy won't be so crazy.
They got what
like
they wanted, so they should be fine, right?
Right. I remember thinking like that, I don't really care who's president because, whatever. That didn't work. Man, all the worst COVID stuff happened during his presidency. Just got escalated until it kind of vanished into oblivion. What an awful time. I'm so embarrassed to be from the place that he's from and represent anything that he
You
represents.
mean the country or the state?
Yeah, the state of Delaware is a shithole. And this guy just went on Twitter and said, I'm leaving the best. Trump. He's leaving the best economy in the history of the world, which is like, again, this is how to lie with statistics. Yeah, America is the best place, the best economy. But it's a shithole, dude. In a lot of places, including 10 minutes from your house in Wilmington, Delaware. Murderville, USA.
If you live in Murderville, it's going to suck in Murderville, Dave.
I mean, listen, it's a
move out to the cornfield. You'll be fine.
Right outside of that, you could. There's lots of cornfields around, but I'm saying, that if you can't fix that over a 50-year career, your own neighborhood, you can't galvanize. Right. And the reason, though, is because he made this a home for Fortune 500 corporations. That's where they get all their revenue from. That's why everybody incorporates out of Delaware. Mm-hmm. And big pharma, big banks, and the military industrial complex. And he did all their bidding for the whole time. Some of the worst stuff, the crime bill, all the time, all this woke shit you're seeing right now about, he's paying all this lip service to what he would do, what he's done for people of color and all this shit. Dude, you were behind all of that. More, no wonder Kamala Harris and him got along so well. They locked up so many black people over their careers that I don't know how you do that pivot, but they're both just awful people. And I'm so glad to see them both go, even though, I'm sure Trump is no savior, but they're just such awful actor who has never contributed anything. At least Trump makes stuff and does stuff and builds skyscrapers and hotels and casinos, and like they don't do shit, dude. Yeah. These are the worst people.
And I want to say, as we end Joe Biden's political career, long storied, and comes to a beautiful end of him just bringing world peace on his one foot out the door, if not both feet out the door, and ending all of the strife in the Middle East. It's beautiful. I liked when you called us, scum, trash, threats to democracy. Anybody who disagrees with you, that was fun. I liked how you made COVID worse. Somehow, you made COVID worse because Dave and I weren't Donald Trump supporters. This was our first time voting for Donald Trump. We voted against Donald Trump the last 2 times, and you know what made us Donald Trump supporters? You, Joe Biden. Good job. Good work. And I, for one, feel like you made Donald Trump a better president. If you weren't in the middle of Donald Trump's presidency, in between or overshadowing his second of 3, I feel like he would have continued to be okay. But because of you, I feel like Donald Trump had to step up his game. So thank you, Joseph Robinette Biden, the best president of our lifetime, for making Donald Trump the worst president of who is literally Hitler, making him a little bit better. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for demonizing anybody who thank you for showing the true colors and the true nature of not only the state, but the deep state, the Illuminati, the World Economic Forum, the World Health Organization, everybody involved with you. Nobody has shown a better spotlight. For all of Donald Trump pretending like he's going to drain the swamp and like he's against the powers that be, we don't buy that. He is what he is. Whatever he is, he's that. But nobody's shown a better spotlight on the deep state than you, Joe Biden, for being the classic Coke of yesteryear. Bring back the neo whatever the fuck. Bring that back and watch the old white dude flounder around for 3 years and then spend 6 months pretending like he's running for president and then step down and then appoint or pass the buck off to some woman who nobody liked, even in her own party, didn't get a single nomination, didn't get a single vote in the primary, just passed it down because you couldn't possibly be bothered to finish up the nothing that you've done. Thank you, Joe Biden. Thank you for everything that you've done. Thank you for making me a Trump supporter, and thank you for not only giving me the spirit to support Donald Trump, but also making Donald Trump somebody who was worth supporting, even over whoever the Libertarian candidate might have been. Nobody knows. There's no way of knowing who he was. But thank you, Donald Trump, for showing up. Thank you, Angela McArdle, for getting Donald Trump to show up in a lot of ways. And thank you, Joe Biden, for making everybody just step their game up, because I have a feeling in the next 4 years, we're going to step our game back down a bit. We're not going to keep stepping up because we don't have a common enemy to overthrow, like a feeble, crippled old man with dementia. We don't have that unified anger anymore. So now we have to see if, the Republican Party or the dissident group, collective, whatever the fuck this Avengers thing is, we don't have the ability to know where that goes. I hope it doesn't go the way of the Mises Caucus or other factions of things that formed around a common goal against a common enemy, and then when the common enemy was vanquished, just faded into existence. I hope that's the case. And I hope that Donald Trump doesn't suck as bad as he did last time, and doesn't make us all regret everything. But as for now, thank you, Joe Biden, for just turning the timeline into what it is today. And I'll even go ahead and go as far as to give you credit for Israel and Hamas. Take it, Joe Biden. Take it and run. Take your one last win, your one and possibly only win, because God knows you didn't win the election, Joe Biden. But thank you for, if nothing else, if literally absolutely nothing else, thank you for ending the conflict between Israel and Gaza. Now, to play us out, here is just a few of Joe Biden's greatest moments that I have pulled up here.
$700 billion and $1,300 billion. $740 billion. $1,700 billion. I'm $1.5 trillion to $2.5 to $3 trillion. I mean, it should be $3 billion. Over $1.2 trillion. $1,400,000,000 reduction. $400 billion. If they have to pay out $159 billion lead. The jobs that are going to be created here. The joke. Think about it. Think about what you'd think about. You gotta say hi to me. We go back a long way. She was 12, I was 30, but anyway. Representative Jackie, are you here? Where's Jackie?
Jackie was dead.
She was going to be here. I'm delighted to see the Mayor Covington and Mayor of Covington, I should say. He is Covington, I think. Joe Mayor. Well, I've never believed that. I believe
you know quite better than that, so you're right.
No, but let me just talk for a second. I'm a professor.
You are the president. That's all that we need.
No, I'm Professor Biden from Penn. Where am I heading?
I think one more. He deserves it. For being the best president of all time to president.
To see.
This next one is all from the State of the Union, if you recall. It's hard to remember sometimes, and I'm not even including the one where he had the red lights behind him and was screaming about how we're all killing.
Oh, yeah.
MAGA Republicans are the scourge of the earth or whatever. The unity. This is the State of the Union from 2022, if you remember.
Time to see the what used to be called the Rust Belt become the home of a significant resurgence of manufacturing. Putin may circle Kyiv with tanks, but he'll never gain the hearts and souls of the Iranian people. He'll never extinguish their... Preventing Russia's central bank from defending the Russian ruble. And a pound of Ukrainian people, proud people, pound for pound. There's simply nothing beyond our capacity. Increasing the productive capacity of our economy. I call it building a better America. We won't stop. Because you can't build a wall high enough to keep out a vaccine. The vaccine can stop the spread of these diseases. As one people, one America, the United States of America. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you. Go get him.
Go get him. It's been a long 4 years, Dave. It's been
Sure
a long
has.
4 years, and that is but a glimpse for the annals of history. That is but a glimpse of what we remember about Biden. And there's there was the one time that he got directed away from a crowd by the Easter Bunny. That happened. Like, so many fucking crazy things happened under this administration, and there are still people who are like, he was the best president of our lifetime. Good job, Joe Biden. Because we're supposed to still believe that Joe Biden has not been broken since long before he became the president. Or that he was a shitbag long before he became the president. Or that he did a lot of shitty things as a mentally broken person, shitbag, as the president. I refuse to buy the lies, Dave, that Joe Biden was not the greatest president of our lifetime, because he did end the war in Gaza. Dave, any final thoughts?
Yeah, Trump is going to be in Davos his first week as president.
Fuck. Look, my disdain for Biden does not turn into praise of Trump, and I forgot to bring that up, but you're absolutely right. Yes. Week one, he's doing a Skype call in to the WF.
Yeah, so we'll have that to talk about.
We will. And we'll keep everybody abreast of all of it. We'll talk about all of it, and when Donald Trump does dumb shit, we're going to say, Donald Trump did some dumb shit. But as far as I can tell, you know.
Yo, if the king does the thing on Zoom with the guys, then, bada bing, bada boom.
If the king does the thing, you kiss the ring, motherfucker. That's what we're going with. Clip that. All right. It's been fun. It's been a fun 4 years. It went simultaneously worse and better than I expected it to. But, Dave, where can people find you? Thanks for being here, and thanks for... you haven't even been here for the whole Biden administration, which seems weird. Seems like you've been together the whole time, but we haven't.
I think it's been almost... it's been much
close.
Of it. Let's say that.
We've been talking for about 4 years at least.
Yeah, and I'm glad it's over. Not our friendship, which is just starting to blossom.
We'll see.
It's on the rocks. I'm not going to lie to you.
We'll see how this next administration goes,
Exactly, right. Good to see if, yeah. No, I'm glad it's over, dude. The season of change is upon us. Out with these people who are just the worst. And let's see what we can do with this next one. See if we can work it out at least a little bit. Let Trump, be seen as the king, and we can maybe get what we want a little bit. Let's give that a shot. And follow me on Twitter. And follow Dissident Media on Twitter. But more importantly, go to dissidentshop.com and buy some of those t-shirts and support your boys.
Damn right. And support yourself as you go out in public wearing a based-ass t-shirt.
Yeah.
As the ad said, like, when the apocalypse comes, how will you be able to know who you can and can't trust if somebody's walking around with a Spirit Cooking with Hillary Clinton shirt? You're gonna know.
safe.
I can trust that person. I can work with them.
Yeah,
they're good.
Precisely.
Yeah. All right. So, my wife is texting me saying I forgot the disastrous pullout of Afghanistan. Yes, but
also bad. Yeah,
that was bad. And if Joe Biden, as I'm told by Joe Biden and only Joe Biden, not Joe Biden's cabinet or Israel or Hamas or anybody else, only Joe Biden told me that Joe Biden ended the war in the Middle East, and I take him at his word as the best president of our lifetime, and I give him full credit for it. And still, fuck you, terrible job, Donald Trump. Let's see what you've got. Let's see if you can create more peace deals than Joe Biden could with the abomination in Afghanistan, the nothing in Ukraine, and this grand accomplishment of Joe Biden at the end. But you can follow me at TSIDPod on Twitter, thesystemsdown.tv. Dan at tsidpod.com is the email address, or wherever the Systems Downs are sold. Dave, where can people find you, man? Oh, wait, you already said that. We did that.
Already did it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or,
Distant Media or distantshop.com is where you can find Dave. Go there,
Yes.
buy a shirt. That's what we both want more than anything. Go do that. And we will talk to you guys next week, probably after the inauguration and all of this shit goes down. So we will let you know our thoughts at that point. Godspeed, and we'll see you all on the other side. This ending does not have the right title image in it, but thank you all for hanging out on this Thursday night. We'll see you guys next time. Until then, question everything, stay comfortable, be bad, have fun. We'll see you then. Bye.
Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong.